This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're in New York here, Madison Square Garden. Canelo versus Rocky. I'm joined by Macklin. How are you, Matt?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Obviously a place in New York you know very well.
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time here, done a train for I spent about 7 months out here before after the Felix Stern fight, before the Sergio Martinez fight, trained out here for that fight, obviously, trained out here for the Golovkin fight as well. Been many times. Michael Conlan's debut, we were out here for a few months before that fight, really building that up, really rallying round, getting the support going. Yeah, New York's one I know very well. Love coming to the fights here. I mean, everyone wants to go to the big fights in Vegas and Madison Square Garden. But for me, I think Madison Square Garden is just something that little bit extra special.
We know Rocky Fielding is a huge underdog going into this fight against Saul Alvarez. Give me a case how he can do it this weekend.
He's got a slim chance, but he has got a chance because it's boxing. And it only takes one punch, and he can punch. And he's awkward, Rocky Fielding. He's quite tall and long, and he throws those uppercuts from quite far out. He's definitely awkward, and he can definitely crack. But you hear people talking in sport about levels, and this is, Canelo Alvarez is. It would have to be in everybody's top 5 pound for pound. I mean, he's just gone 24 rounds with Golovkin and got a draw and a win, although I actually thought Golovkin won both of those fights. The first one, clearly. Second one, could have gone either way. And he's probably, maybe, the biggest punching middleweight there's ever been, Golovkin. And Canelo never got wobbled or buzzed up or hurt in that. I mean, I'm sure he took some solid shots, but he took them well. So, it's difficult to make a realistic case for Rocky Fielding, but and then you go back to his boxing, it can happen. It's a 2-horse race. He's in there, he can punch, and it only takes one. But other than really kind of focusing on giving him a puncher's chance and trying to make an argument, I can't really, because I thought Rocky has had a fairy tale year in the sense that he's, got that world title shot, gone to Germany, won it, and then he's, landed this opportunity. And why wouldn't he take it? He's fighting. No matter how much of an underdog you are, you have to believe in yourself. You want to fight the best, and he's here. He's fighting for, I'd imagine life-changing money in Madison Square Garden before Christmas against the #1 superstar in boxing. Why wouldn't he? And fair play to him for taking it. And I'm sure he's trained that hard and with his team. It doesn't matter what anyone else believes. As long as he believes in himself and his team believe in him, that's all that matters.
When you look back to when Rocky Fielding lost to Callum Smith in a round, and kind of what's happened over the last few years, I mean, it's a great story for Rocky, despite what happens on Saturday night, to kind of get himself into kind of this position that the majority of boxers don't get to see.
This is what you're in boxing for. I mean, we've joked around in a few of the interviews and things about, if he wins, there'll be a fairy tale in New York. The little bit of cheesy pun there, but it's already been a fairy tale for Rocky Fielding coming back off a first round defeat. Must have been soul destroying to get knocked out in a round in a big local derby, huge. Would have been talk of the town for weeks and weeks upon, prior to the fight in Liverpool, and then to get done in a round, it must have, knocked him sick really. Then he came back with I think was it Rabrasi, he had the win and won a split decision. Got rocked a couple of times in that fight, but he came through it. Then he put a few really good wins together. I mean, the Ryder win looks even better now when you see what Ryder's gone on and done since then. The Brophy win was a good win, great win. So he has stuck with it. He's shown good strength of character, good self-belief, and he's been rewarded for it. I mean, he went over to Germany. Again, he was a huge underdog going over to fight Zoiga. Not this level of an underdog, but he was an underdog. And he, straight away, Zoiga tried to come out, put him in his place, stick it on him. And Rocky just met him and gave it him back and broke his heart, broke him up and stopped him. So it's been a fairy tale year for him, really. And, you want to dream that he can go on a bit more and get that real fairy tale ending, but it's difficult to, in my imagination, to stretch it that far.
2 days to find out. Matt, what have you made of, obviously, a couple of weeks ago, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder battled it out up to, in some people's eyes, a controversial draw. A lot of people saw Tyson Fury winning that fight. How did you kind of see that?
Yeah, I thought he won it. I don't think the 113 was outrageous. I thought the other scorecard definitely was outrageous.
The 115, 111.
It was ridiculous. I don't know how he possibly could even justify or rationalise or explain himself on that. I cannot see how he got there at all. I could see 113 maybe, you know, but I didn't think that. I thought it was a 114, 112. I thought he won it. He won the fight, you know, 8 rounds to 4, and then obviously the 2 knockdowns pulls it a bit closer. But regardless of that, what he did, the performance he put in after the layoff, and really he only had 2, and I said it beforehand, glorified sparring sessions really in those opponents, because he wasn't pushed out of his comfort zone at all against either of those guys. And I thought it was a couple of fights too soon for him. You know, we know how good Tyson is, his natural ability, his agility for a big man, his movement, skill, all those things. But I did think it was probably a couple of fights too soon. But, you know, he went and proved an awful lot of people wrong, and he put on a fantastic performance. And I mean, you can't have anything but admiration for him.
Who do you think will fight next? Do you think they will rematch, or do you think that maybe Wilder lands a Joshua fight? What do you think happens? Or does Fury land the Joshua fight?
I don't think so. I think what will happen is, I think Wilder and Fury will do a rematch. I think that Dylan White will beat Chisora better than he did the first time, because he's improved a lot. I think then White will fight Joshua on April 13th. Fury and Wilder fight, I'm not sure what date they'll do it, but I think they'll fight next in a rematch. I think Fury beats Wilder more convincingly this time. Now that he's got those 12 hard, competitive rounds under his belt, I think he boxes the head off Fury in a rematch. As long as he doesn't get caught, obviously. Wilder's always got that big punch, so we've got a chance. But I think other than that, he boxes his head off. And I think Joshua, beats White again. And, that could be the biggest fight of all time, couldn't it?
Well, if that situation happens, then that sets it up for that. But you don't know what's going to happen between now and kind of April even.
Listen, the landscape changes every time there's a significant fight, and there's a couple of significant fights have to happen, and it's ifs and buts and maybes, and if this happens, that. So who knows? It's one fight at a time. But look, White's fight Chisora. We do know that fight's happening. That depending what happens there, will affect the landscape a little bit. Like I say, if White comes out and looks $1 million and was to stop Chisora, then there's justifiable grounds where you can say a rematch with Joshua sells. Plus, I think Wilder and Fury are probably more focused on each other in a rematch at this stage than they are even Joshua. So, I think that's probably the most likely outcome.
We shall see. Wait and see what happens, rather. All right, Matthew Macklin, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and press conference is going to begin here soon, so we'll catch up with you again.